Watch stream. I have a co-commentator this time.
Hi, I'm Violet. I'm here now. Woo!
We actually have another co-commentator if you just want to stick your head in really quick.
Hey guys.
Yeah. So we will be swapping out. We're going to be trying all the combinations, hopefully, with all the maps and stuff. And we're just going to hope for a first good scrimmage type game. This was supposed to be like the first week of preseason, but we weren't able to get activated in time. So this is more like a scrim is what we're doing today. And so our team consists of, I don't know their names, honestly. So we got Sam as Mule.
We have Maddie as...
Maddie.
Midori is Jamie.
That's the captain.
Skippers is Zeke.
And then is that Raph?
That's Raph,
and
yeah.
Not Cheeto is Raph. So those are our team. That's our team. We're the Tigers. They are not coordinated. Got to be an L. Honestly, we're the better team.
The worst L. We've got our team to be nice and aesthetically pleasing.
And they're not, so.
No hate on them, though. We love them.
We are not biased commentators.
Oh, yeah, totally not. Not at all.
So it's a best of 5. I don't exactly remember how the game modes work. I think it's each round is a different game mode. I think it starts with like push or something. It goes through each one. Whoever wins bans a map, the other one chooses a map, something like that. And we should be starting up pretty soon here as the last person is joining the other team. And we're hoping for a good match, for a good scrimmage. Kind of check out how the team goes and also do the first like test stream kind of thing.
Yeah.
So as a forewarning, I know almost nothing about Overwatch. So that is why we have the commentators here.
Yeah.
So if Violet, you want to talk a little bit about your experience with Overwatch?
I don't know as much as our third commentator. I played a little bit of Overwatch in just the practice time to kind of learn the game, figure out what the heck was going on, and actually got trained on my first couple games by Jamie, who is the lovely one with a crown on his name.
I don't think they can see it right now.
Yeah. It's been a weird, 3 months of knowing what Overwatch was. Before this, I didn't know it existed, and then I told my father that I was joining, and suddenly he was like, oh yeah, I played Overwatch League previously. And I'm like, you couldn't have told me this before? But, yeah.
So I pretty much studied this like a final, literally earlier today. So, a classic college student of putting things off until the last second. I watched a few World Cup matches and studied some heroes. So I kind of know, but I also have no clue. So this is a very much experimental.
Yeah. We're both just pulling things out of thin air right now.
So hopefully we'll start up soon. I think we just need one more person to join, and then we're good to go. It looks like the other team might be coordinating their profile pictures.
They're getting there. 2 of them match.
2 out of the 5. So, as you know, this is Overwatch 2, so there used to be Overwatch 1. There are a few changes.
4 match.
4 of them match now. So a few changes, the biggest one is they decrease the amount of people in a game. So instead of 12 on 12, it's 10v10. 5v5.
It is not 10v10, it's 5v5. That's
really
a clarification.
10v10 would be interesting, though.
No, it would not. There's typically 1 tank, 2 supports, and 2 DPS, which is damage per second.
Yeah. So the tanks, we can go more into the roles as the game starts, and each player will probably be designated a specific role. Do we know the roles so far, or no?
I don't know who's going to be playing which roles, honestly.
Okay.
If I had to take my best guess, I would put Maddie on support because in previous practices, Maddie's been really good with her supports. I know that both Sam, Raph, and Zeke all have decent time in tank, so we'll figure out which one of them is going to be our tank for it. But yeah, I honestly don't know where everyone's going to be placed.
Yeah, well, all players are in the lobby here, and we are starting.
Yep.
So, as we load in, we're going to start on Busan map.
Which is based off South Korea.
Yes.
Fun fact.
We're moving just a little bit.
We gotta shift around.
Yeah. So we are choosing our heroes here. I think this is control point. I don't know the names of it.
Yeah, this one I believe is control point, which basically you just stand on your point until it becomes yours, and then it'll rack up percentage. You want it to be 100% in yours. And it looks like our group has chosen. So it looks like Maddie and Zeke are on support.
Yep.
It looks like Jamie is
the tank here.
the tank playing with Junker Queen. And then we have Tracer for Sam, and I never remember her name.
Raph and Sombra.
Yeah.
Sombra is the character. Raph is the one playing Sombra. And it looks like on the other team we have Mercy,
Arissa,
Soldier 76, I don't remember that one.
Moira,
and then so we will be clicking around to check. We'll go. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll follow Jamie
follow
a little
Jamie
bit
for
here,
a little bit
as he
here,
is the
yeah.
tank, so he'll be kind of in the front of everything. We might switch to a few supports, maybe a few damages here. So we see now that the tanks are just staring at each other, and it looks like Jamie will win that first tank battle.
Yeah.
Right now they're just kind of trying to get their whole team off of the point so they can kind of take the point entirely. And it's kind of just even right now for trades.
So in this particular map, the gray line on the bottom of the field there is where the point is. It's now red, which means that our team controls it. Once it turns the color, we don't have to stand on it anymore. It's sometimes helpful in order to make sure that the other team doesn't make it their point. Currently looks like they're contesting point against that Arissa right now, right?
Yeah. So on the other team, you can see Mercy kind of healing up the Arissa, trying to make sure that she just stays alive. And the Mercy goes down, which means Arissa has lost a lot of support and a lot of health trying to take over the point.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're trying to just poke with Soldier 76 and their Pharah to try and get Jamie off of this point. But he's doing a very good job of staying on it and also picking off the
Our
less
supports
tanky
are also
DPS.
doing a wonderful
Yes, we
job
can check if
keeping
them really
Jamie
quick.
alive at this point.
Yes. So this is Zeke, right, on the Kiriko?
Yes, this is Zeke on the Kiriko.
Yeah. One of the more popular characters and also a very busted character from what I've heard. And is just kind of trying to heal up Jamie, keep him alive. And then we got...
Also protecting point. This is our other team.
This is the other team. This is the Sombra. This is Raph on the Sombra.
Yeah.
His whole thing is trying to hack stuff. If he gets a hack off on an enemy team, they won't be able to use abilities at all. And then if they get a hack on the med packs, the med packs respond faster for our team. This is Sam. He's on the Tracer here. He's one of the DPSs that we have. He's just trying to really probably try and kill the supports mostly in the back. Yep, as you see, he's hunting the support right there. And also probably trying to get rid of some other DPS as well. And then we'll go, and then this is Maddie. She is just mostly healing, trying to heal
Maddie's
up
actually
Jamie as
doing
much
a
as well.
decent amount of damage so far this game as well.
Yeah, Moira is one of those supports that deal a lot of damage as well as heal. We'll go back over to Sam really quick as it looks like they are trying to, it looks like Blue is trying to take over the point here, but it looks like they are just failing as
They
we are
only have,
we just
all
cleared
of them just dead right there, which was very impressive from our team.
So that is the first round of, I believe, 3 in Control the Point. As we move on to the next one, and it looks like we'll go right into it. We might see some character swaps. But honestly, our team looked very comfortable with their characters and pretty like set in their roles.
I
So-
would be shocked if our team switched at all at
Yeah.
this current state in time.
Yeah, I think the other team might switch up a little bit, but yeah, as we do see one swap go out, I believe that is I don't remember her name.
That's Symmetra or
Symmetra.
Yeah.
Yep.
She is my favorite character by far as a DPS, simply because I like the little shooty.
The bots.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to look at Sam here as he's the first one to get onto the point and almost die right away, but he uses those recalls
off.
to get back.
Yeah.
We'll go over to Jamie really quick as he's pushing up.
Or at least attempting to. It looks like they're giving quite a bit of pushback towards
They are.
Jamie.
Yeah, those turrets are, I think, causing some problems there. As actually, they're just kind of holding him in this choke point here, and
Yeah.
they can't really get around it much.
Which is unfortunate, seeing
Yep.
as how you have to get past there in order to get onto that control point.
Yeah, and it looks like a few of our supports got caught out all alone without any tank and died right away.
And
as
this-
it looks like Jamie is now all alone, and it might end up being a clear here, as I think our entire team is making their way back to the point.
Indeed. I'd be shocked to see how they're going to play this out this round, since they already lost control of the point. Getting that control back is extremely important.
So we'll just probably watch Jamie here as he tries to get back. As you see, like the little tick downs coming up, that's the ultimate. Those are usually the strongest attacks. And we might see one. I don't remember if we saw one really. We didn't point it out last match, but we might be
Yeah.
able to see one here. As it looks like Jamie, that was an ultimate from the Orisa right there. The spinning spear came out. And it looks like Jamie is just trying to push up, trying to get onto that point to take it back, as the Orisa is just doing a pretty good job of just keeping Jamie out this whole time.
Orisa is doing a really good job right there, except for when they allowed their gun to get overheated. That can be a long cooldown, especially in a game as intense as what we're going to see today.
Yeah, this is pretty much just, now that they've lost their tank, then Jamie has to make it back. They probably really can't do any pushing onto the point here, unless they get a little like sneaky something on there. But now that Jamie's back, they might be able to get something here. As Jamie goes through the rampage, I think killing at least the Mercy, and is actually almost capturing it, doing a pretty good job, contesting it now, as the rest of as fully capturing it now, and has fully captured it, might be able to.
That was
and
impressive
pretty much-
with 82% for the other team. That was a really good call on Jamie's part.
Pretty much wiped their whole team, was able to get that point. So as they will be now making their way back, and now we get to do the same thing they did to us, where we just kind of camp at the choke points and they try and get in. As it looks like they are going around and trying to get through a different area. It looks like Symmetra on their team set up a teleportation circle for them to get through, or a portal of some kind.
Yeah.
We'll look at Zeke here as he heals up Jamie in this tank battle, and actually gets the kill on the Moira there, or not the Moira, the
Orisa.
Orisa, yeah. We'll go back over to Jamie as it looks like they're pretty much have pushed out the enemy team and now just have to play the waiting game as they cleared them again.
Yeah. They honestly will probably do really well now that the point is in our name, because the hardest part with this particular map is making sure that you get the point first, because there are as many choke points as there are. It's hard to get onto that point after the other team has already grabbed it from you.
Yeah. So we'll go back over to Jamie as the other team tries to get onto this point again. Does do not a great ult there, just goes right into the wall, getting pretty much nobody. But is now on a 10 to 11 player kill streak, I believe, as he's just absolutely destroying the other team, as now that they have pretty much taken over this point. I don't think they'll lose it here, as they are holding these choke points really well and just keep making sure that they can't get through.
We are now in the lead. This is likely the last full team attack that they can do before the point is fully captured by us, unless they get on that point during this attack.
So if they get on this point before we reach 100, they might be able to get something, or at least continue the game, but it doesn't
But
look
with
like
that
that'll be
switch of
possible
their
yet.
tank from the Orisa to the other character. I can't remember their name right now.
I don't remember.
That switch of the tank was definitely not their best call. And it looks like Jamie got player of the game,
Yep.
which is always a fun thing to see.
Yeah, this was the rampage that went right into the wall. I'm surprised it was that rampage that went into the wall instead of the other one.
Yeah.
So we will be seeing the second game here. I believe it will be either a push, one of the pushes, one of the push tries, and we'll be seeing a new map.
Yes.
So we can also switch out commentators here pretty soon. Do you want me to go or you go first?
6 one, half dozen the other.
It doesn't matter to me. You want to come, Jess? Here. You got this thing.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
It's been a long night.
It
but
has
we're
been a
here.
long
It was a
night.
good first game that we got to see.
Do you have any comments as our more experienced Overwatch commentator?
Oh, goodness. This is such a title that I'm considered the more experienced person here. Man. This is so much harder than I was expecting. But yeah, no, it was a really good, fun game of Overwatch. Obviously, we saw, a little bit of low lights, but there were a lot of good things that came from this game.
Indeed. It
So
looks
now,
like we are starting in Junkertown.
this is, and we have a pause already, and we barely got started.
We got on the map and then they hit pause.
Anyway, so I guess we can use this time to kind of break down what Junkertown is and the kind of map it is. It's an escort map, and basically the goal of these types of maps is there's going to be a main objective, a payload, and there will be two sides. You'll have an attack side and a defense side, and the names are kind of self-explanatory. When you're on the attack side, your goal is to sort of capture this payload and push it towards certain objective points, little checkpoints. And on the defensive side, your goal is to obviously start that. And depending on which side you get first, it kind of changes the way that you want to look at the game and play the game.
Yeah, people were talking about turning up Jackson a little bit.
A little bit of technical difficulties here.
Technical difficulties. Had to call in the big guns, also known as Aaron Blackman.
But yeah, so when you start on the defensive side, you kind of get the advantage of knowing how far you need to push the payload, which in some cases can be really beneficial, knowing that you don't have to make it all the way to the end. You only have to reach a certain threshold.
Yeah.
And now it looks like we're going to get into the game. But it's
It
not
looks
us.
like our team is playing the same characters as they did last time,
looks like
which
the exact same comp. So it'll be really interesting to see how it translates from different maps and different objectives.
indeed. On the other team, it looks like we have few new characters on the board, including Ash, which, let's be honest, sexy cowgirl. Can't go wrong.
It looks like they've also got the Ramasha, their new tank. And yeah, I think this will be a really fun experience.
This will be fun to watch.
And now the gates are opening, allowing our team to sort of walk onto the payload and try to start getting progress on it.
Yeah.
So right now, it's like
The other team is taking a pretty high vantage point at this point, which is pretty common from what I've seen on this map previously. There's a lot of high points to shoot from, which can be a huge advantage with the payloads.
yeah, getting the high ground, especially really early on defense, is really nice, especially when you're playing someone like Ash, who has that capability of zooming in with a sniper and really getting precise shots off.
Yeah.
It can be really beneficial. But looks like we're able to hide from a lot of their damage, and we're starting to make a lot of progress here.
We are definitely moving pretty quickly, and that's always something we like to see on the attack side.
It is really nice to get a lot of early progress, and especially being able to push them off of this high ground too with their given team. It's especially detrimental that we're honestly not killing them by pushing them off of these high grounds that were beneficial for these characters.
if we're able to keep them off, it kind of limits what they can do with their team comp.
Indeed.
But now it looks like we're backing
It
off a little
looks
bit.
like we had Zeke out for a little bit there, and having a support out, not always the best thing for us, but it looks like Zeke is now back. It also looks like we have Raph back in on Tracer after a short death period.
Short death window. But now it looks like the whole team's back, so they're going to look to make an actual play here. Tracer has the ult now. They decide to use it. Oh. And there goes out the ult,
Yep.
and they're not going to pick up anyone off of that.
Which is unfortunate. We like it when
But it
things go well,
That
but
is true.
sometimes that's how the game goes. Sometimes you pressure ult and it doesn't hit the efficacy that you wish for.
That's a big part of the game, is taking gambles, knowing when to do certain things and when not to.
Yeah. And it looks like our supports are somewhere. They're
right now-
alive.
Looks like Raph is trying to get a
But-
flank to get off a big EMP here. Raph's ult here. Oh, and the EMP goes off. And basically, this applies the hack that we were talking about earlier from Sombra, that they'll take a lot more damage, and obviously they also can't use abilities. That is a very important ult, especially when it hits their entire team like that. And it looks like we're gonna get most of their team.
Which is always nice for us to do.
So here, it looks like we're pushing up to the first objective point. You'll see at the top of the screen, they've got these 3 little segments. Those are the different objective points that you're trying to hit. When you get this, you get a little bit of extra time to push the payload on attack. And they're basically they're little checkpoints for the defense to monitor, their progress of how well they're keeping the team off.
Indeed, and it looks like we have about 50 seconds in order to make it to that first one, which should be plenty of time for our team.
They should have plenty of time to manage to get it here, but they're taking a lot of fire here at the objective.
They are really taking a lot. The other team hit very hard right there, which
So I think our team is going to try to regather and maybe make a final push.
it looks like Jamie has now switched to Wrecking Ball, which is the cutest little hamster in the world, who
Oh.
is so deadly.
It's just a small little guy.
We love the little guys who just managed to shoot off everyone else.
And that was a big team fight. I didn't even see a whole lot that happened there, but that was a huge, really important team fight. It allows us to get that objective, and now you'll see we have 2.5 more minutes to keep pushing the payload, keep getting objective.
It looks like the other team is starting to come back. We've made about 1/8 of the distance so far to the next one. That's just a guesstimate because I'm not good at fractions. But
You also see they brought the Orisa back out, which is
yes, it's definitely a choice. A lot of times in Ursa Wrecking Ball fights, it's definitely just who has the better control of their character that wins.
that is true. I think it is important to also note that a lot of times in these Overwatch games, a lot of times people will see someone switch when something isn't going right. And a lot of times team comps and teams will build around this idea that you have to counter swap. When you see someone swap to a different character to try to get, a really big advantage on the situation, a lot of times you'll see those team comps on the other team also switch. And a lot of times, depending on, how much they focus on that, there can be a lot of back and forth whenever people, die and have to go back to spawn.
It looks like right there we had our team just sitting around. That was actually for a purpose. That was because it looked like Jamie was trying to get the team to all go in at once in order to have a true team-on-team fight, because a lot of the times in these fights, people like to go ahead, which means that there's a lot of communication going on out there, which is always nice to see.
Yeah, communication within competitive games like this are super important. Instead of we don't really have access to showing you the comms that are going on right now, but I'm sure they're hectic and very organized at the same time. There's a lot of energy, a lot of pressure at at all turns within these kinds of games.
And from the different practices that I've been a part of, that was one of the things that they were trying to push the most, was making sure that our team was actively communicating to each other, because that's one of the biggest helps to make sure that we actually work together the way that we should.
Oh, most definitely. Communication within a lot of these sports is honestly sometimes a lot more important than your actual skill on the game that you're playing. There's been a lot of times that even the highest levels of these sports where you'll see teams that they might not have the greatest players, but just the sheer amount of communication and togetherness that they have, it really allows them to do special things.
It looks like Jamie switched over to Diva and died pretty quickly on the first round with Diva, making it to where we did not get all the way to the end, but in these ones, distance also is a large factor in which team wins and which team loses.
Yep. So we're actually going to be switching sides here now, I believe. I believe we're going to be playing the defense now. And so basically our goal is, up at the top, it'll show that we got the payload 63 meters. And our job is to prevent their team from, getting that distance.
Yeah, we want to keep them under that distance by the time that they run out of time, which if they don't make it to that first objective point, would make it to where they can't have the time that we did to get that distance.
That is true. I think it's also really interesting to see the different characters that they're using now, because of how different playing defense is compared to what we saw earlier in playing on attack. So it looks like they're going to keep the Sombra the same from the previous team comp, but they're going to bring in Mercy, one of the supports.
And Maddie is an impeccable Mercy player. Any time that I've played with Maddie on Mercy, there's been just epic revives.
I will also say we are seeing one of my favorite characters currently, Ramatra. Ramatra is definitely a unique tank. They have a very strange combination of both offensive and defensive capabilities. And also it's just a robot guy. Big fan of robots, and I think Ramatra is one of the coolest characters in the game. So here we're going to see the gates opening up as the other team is going to be trying to get that early offensive push, and we've also taken that high ground that we saw from the other team last time.
And I think with the team that we have out right now, taking this high point is actually a pretty good move on our part right now, because as you see up here on these high points, there are areas to avoid them fighting us versus still being able to shoot them from that same area.
That's very true. I think we might go try to look at Wrath here on the Sombra. He's on a big flank right now, and he's going to get taken down immediately after I look at him.
Yeah.
Sombra's really interesting because of her ability to go invisible to try to get, really interesting angles on people to try to get those hacks off that we were talking about.
It's definitely an interesting player to play, or character to play, rather. But I found that you really need to know what you're doing in order to play it well.
That is true.
Which, unfortunately, is a lot of these characters.
And it looks like Jamie is going to go down during this fight. Our team might have to back off here, but it looks like we're all going to
We also
fall.
lost Maddie, which means that Jamie couldn't get the res that could potentially have been helpful.
We are going to see the Ramatra ult come out, but it ultimately will not be able to get as much done as they probably would have liked from that.
Yeah.
So now we can see our team trying to sort of, get back together to try to make this final defensive stop. They do have 2 whole minutes to try to stop them from making it to this first objective.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're actually going to give up the objective to try to set up for a really good defensive push here at this objective.
Yeah.
And we'll see Jamie is actually switching back over to the Junker Queen that we saw earlier.
And if you look up at the top, you can see the orange diamond is how far we made it with our team. So as long as the other team does not push past that orange diamond, we will be able to win. But if they do push past there, the other team will take the
That's
lead.
true. They will take the point, and ultimately they'll take the map if that happens.
Yeah.
So these last 4 minutes right here are really important to try to contest the payload as much as possible.
Yeah.
It is important. We'll try to check out on our Sombra player again, see what they're up to. Like we're talking about, they now have the EMP again, so they might be trying to look to get, down there and get a huge EMP. It'll allow for a lot of damage, and obviously it'll shut them down from using abilities, which is really important, especially in these types of situations. So Sombra's going to take down one. Oh, there's a huge
There was a huge.
Ash ult.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to get on the point, otherwise they're just going to walk freely to the win.
Yeah. Contesting this point at this point would probably be a strong move from our team, but with how many deaths we had right there,
Also,
it's not as easy done as
Yeah.
said.
we're getting really close to that situation in certain games where communication starts to dwindle as, your main objective is just to get on the payload to make sure that it can't go forward. But we are seeing them gather around, and they're getting really coordinated again. And they're actually even pushing the payload back a little bit.
Which is always helpful in these maps. Looks like the other team is trying to get around the bend to get to the payload and just being shot down.
I see Raph on the flank again, maybe looking to get an EMP off this time. It ultimately just depends whether or not the team is ready for this fight.
It looks like Jamie is switching back over to Wrecking Ball, which potentially could help with getting this particular point.
And now we're at the
Yeah.
final stretch. It all really comes down to this moment.
We have
Oh,
a
Lincoln will
minute
fall.
and a half.
And
And it
sadly,
looks
we'll not
like
be able to
they-
get the stop.
Yeah. It was a good fight, though.
It was really interesting to see, how they would change their comp coming from an offensive focus. We will see Raph getting play of the game. And this is that really big EMP that we were talking about earlier at the start of the game on attack. Using the EMP just really allows so much damage to be put out by the team, and also just really doesn't allow them to do a whole lot as, an opposing unit.
Yeah.
So now we'll be heading to Game 3, Map
Game
3.
3. And from what we were told earlier, there will be 5 total games, or best of 5. So,
So best of 5. So whoever gets the 3 maps first is ultimately the winner of tonight's scrim, which will be really interesting to see play out now that it's tied 1-1.
yeah. And we're gonna switch Theo back in here. That way you can have yet another combination of commentators. So, I'm gonna step out of frame now and give Theo my mic.
Oh goodness. We're having some extra large technical difficulties now. Welcome back to the studio, Theo.
Thank you. I'm back. I figured, yeah. I got it. I'm back. Hello, guys. It was very fun watching, that's for sure. So what'd you think of that last match?
I think it was a fun map. Escort is one of my favorite game modes in the game, but it's not as cool in my opinion as this next game mode that we're going to see.
Is this the robot pushing one? or-
I am a big fan of Push that we'll get to see next.
Yes. So this is very similar to the last one, but there'll be basically checkpoints and both teams will be fighting for the opportunity to push, right?
Yeah, so basically it works the same as the payload, where the more people you have on it, the more progress you can make towards the objectives. And so it's really important to get get your whole team on the point whenever you can. You're going to see a lot of times where probably the robot probably isn't moving at all. And this is largely because of how often it's contested and how often teams are just really duking it out for the opportunity to push as much as they can. But it's a really interesting game mode. I know when Overwatch 2 first came out, this was the game mode that they introduced, and a lot of people didn't really like it when it first came out, but I am a part of the minority here that I think push is a really fun game mode.
It's definitely an interesting game mode because you have that multiple, basically both teams are on offense and defense at the same time, and both are looking for those checkpoints, because the checkpoint allows you to continue from that basically, instead of it bringing it back or something like that. So,
and it's just like Escort in the same idea that your goal is ultimately just to get as much progress as possible within the time limit, as well as preventing the other team. It's really interesting to see though, because like we were talking about with the Escort game, seeing the way that teams change up their compositions and the characters that they're using between attack and defense sides, you kind of get to see a lot of that just throughout the game on push, because of that idea that you're playing both offense and defense at times. Mm-hmm. See a lot of times when a team is losing a lot of progress on the push robot, or when they're doing really well, they'll switch up their team comps to really emphasize the things that they're doing really well at, which I think is very interesting to see.
So now that we're talking about team comps, do you want to go into the different types of team comps?
Oh, goodness. I mean, I can certainly try.
Okay.
So a lot of different things start with the different type of tanks that there are. The big one in mind is dive tanks. Dive tanks include people like Diva, Doomfist to an extent, and even to an extent Wrecking Ball. It's one of the most interesting team comps. It's one that has kind of been around for a very long time. But it looks like we're going to be getting
It looks like
into
we
the
are
game.
going to start. We might be able to continue that conversation a little bit afterwards. As you see, as actually we haven't swapped over yet, but we will be starting soon, as they are currently picking their characters in about 30 seconds. We might be able to continue it a little bit here. So do you want to explain a little bit more of the dive?
So yeah, dive comps are basically built around the idea that, your one objective and the one thing that you're going to do really, really well is find a point on the map that you want to get to, and you're going to get there by really any means necessary. You see a lot of combination of really high mobility characters and a lot of really, not necessarily defensive, but able to maneuver the battlefield in a very specific way that really just allows them to just, like I said, get to that point that they need to. And then they also have such offensive output that it almost deters teams from trying to get back that point.
Okay, so we do have the team comps all pulled up now. We are continuing with the same team comp we had in the first game, with the Junker Queen, Moira, Kiriko, Tracer, and Sombra. And it looks like they are adding Baptiste and Cassidy to theirs. Otherwise, it's the same. We'll quickly go over to our team. We'll look at Raph for a little bit, maybe switch over. But yeah, it looks like here's the first signs of confrontation from the DPSs, with Sam and Raph both looking at them. Yep, so it looks like they are stuck without a tank mostly until right now, as Jamie finally gets into the battle. As now the healers are just trying to heal up the damaged DPSs, as they took a bunch of damage from fighting that. And Jamie will instantly die very quickly, as it looks like they are not starting out great, and they'll probably have to back off, as now they have lost 2 of their players. As it looks, they're all backing up, and it's trying to conserve as many people as possible, as it looks like the other team is going to start pushing that robot a little bit here.
Yeah, trying to rally the forces right now. I think it really is interesting to think about, right, how much Jamie has been playing Junker Queen tonight. Obviously, he was practicing a lot of Junker Queen before the match, but honestly, from what we've been seeing, I'm really curious to see if they'll try to switch up the tank options more than we've seen.
Yeah, we've seen Wrecking Ball and Junker Queen, and that's about it, right?
Yeah, that is about it. I will say, we did see the Ramacha for a little bit on defense last map, but other than that, I mean, there is a huge roster of characters to choose from. So I wonder how much of this is things that they've game planned for these certain maps, and maybe it's just these are the comfort picks, which is entirely, that's a perfectly fine way to look at things.
Yeah, so right there, the other team's tank went down, and they pretty much just won the fight right after that. So it looks like you just I think they're mostly looking for trying to get rid of the tank and taking the team fight after that. As it looks like there might be a little bit of a confrontation here as Jamie is squaring up against like 4 of them, and as it shows up, Soldier 76 is the first one to show, and then Orisa will show after that. We'll look at the supports really quick, who are doing a pretty good job of keeping Jamie all healed up, and even ending up saving a few people there for Zeke here, as we'll go back over to Jamie as he's pretty much taking on the whole team here. He does have his rampage. He might pop that here, but it looks like it's just the Orisa left, so he probably won't, as it looks like pretty much their entire team is gone, and they will now be pretty much safe to keep pushing that robot, as we have already reached the first checkpoint, correct?
Yep, that is the first checkpoint. So basically, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the way that it works is once you get to these objectives, it prevents the robot from being pushed back further than that. So you get a sort of like security in knowing that you at least have this amount of space that you've gained, and it's not going to be taken away from you.
Mm-hmm. So it does look like our team is going to continue pushing, as they did win that last team fight. We still have actually a lot of ults up, 4 out of the 5. We might get all up soon, as we see Sam. Now we do have all 5. The Rampage will come out first. Let's see if we'll have any others. The Moira ult comes out as well.
Happy Team is going to fall here.
Mm-hmm. We can look at a few others who still are alive, and Maddie will fall as well, and the last one left is actually they have all died. So now the other team will be able to push the robot a little bit, and it does look like they have swapped one of their characters to the Kiriko instead of the Baptiste. What do you think of that swap? It definitely showed some kind of effect because they won that team fight there.
I think, when you're looking at different team comps, this is one of those maps that, unlike the last one where there is a lot of high ground to work with here, it's not as important as a lot of maps. So having those nice mid-range characters is really nice here, as a lot of the choke points, like the one we're seeing here, are really just straight lines. They're just straight lines where full teams are looking at each other. So being able to put as much damage output as you can within this range is super, super important. And we're going to see Raph running away there.
Yeah, he was on very low health. And now it looks like Sam is also on low health as he's trying to get something out of this. We'll go and find Jamie here, as it looks like he's taking on the rest of their team, trying to kind of ignore the tank as he's trying to get rid of the supports there. But the other team is doing a very good job of keeping everyone alive, as it looks like no one has fallen yet in this fight here, and Jamie will be the first to fall. It looks like this might be a lost team fight for Doan here, as the blue team is now, the other team is pushing the robot a little bit more. However, it does look like we have Zeke and a few others trying to like sit at this corner. Might be able to catch a few people out of position here. We'll look at Sam here as he's on the Tracer, trying to maybe catch a few picks before another team fight engages as soon as Jamie gets back. And he might be able to find one right there. He's pretty close, sadly, but he will be able to get out at least.
He's able to rewind time, bring himself back.
He might be able to find another one there.
The team.
Yep,
that's 2.
That's 2. So this is looking pretty good for the team fight as Raph gets out of there. A very close situation there. As it looks like Sam will maybe get this Kiriko, but the Kiriko is getting pretty slippery. We'll be able to take down Orisa, and Raph will also fall, as the Kiriko is just running away. But Jamie can pretty much catch up, but now she is surrounded by her team, so no one wants to keep following, as they don't really have their tank with them. But now Jamie is here, pushing, mostly just keeping with the robot, hopefully being able to get something in this next team fight, as it looks like their whole team is on the defense. No real character changes have happened yet. We can look at a few people who have ults so far, see what they will do with that. So we have Moira's ult here. That'll give a bunch of healing and damage up. It's basically just a giant beam. We see the Orisa kill actually, and actually be able to pretty much, they're gonna wipe out Sam and Maddie here, one of the supports, as it looks like Jamie is now stuck in this small room with pretty much all of them. We'll be able to get a few of them at least.
Get one. Orisa is going to use their ability. Orisa is a very frustrating tank to play against, and a large part of this is For one, she has an ability that if you're caught by the spear that she throws out, it will push you into a wall and kind of leave you there for a little bit. That's one frustrating thing. That doesn't even include her ability, right? Her other ability allows her to essentially take no damage for a while. And it's really frustrating because of the fact that tanks are so important here, especially if you're on push. As you'll notice, right, when the robot is actually on the run to catch up to the barrier, a lot of times the game plan is just to have your tank sort of sit.
Ooh, we might see Raph maybe get a kill, but it looks like he's just able. He does get a kill actually, or at least soften him up for another kill, and we'll get a second one too. That's both of the DPS is gone on the other team. This is a very good spot to go in here, as now the hack on the Orisa as well will stop the ultimate. Might be able, we'll win this whole team fight here. That was a great team fight, all set up by Raph there. Amazing flank from him, being able to push both DPSs out and then also set up the kill on the Orisa. We'll check over on Jamie here as he's saying with the robot a little bit. Maybe we'll check with Sam. Sam is still here, I think, with the robot. Okay, so it looks like the two DPSs are more like scouting the other team, maybe trying to get a few picks as the robot keeps pushing up. Has gotten to some pretty good vantage points here, getting that high ground right in the window right there. Let's look, because we got Raph still on the MVP, sorry, with the EMP as alt right there. We'll hit that EMP. Good two hit there. Yeah, we'll get another kill as well. We can check on Sam here. He's probably going to get some more kills here from this. It looks like we got 2 kills or so far, and the robot will start pushing now. Maddie's doing some good healing. We'll look at Jamie here as their Orisa's pretty low and will fall. And now we might be able to get a final push here as soon as it gets to that last platform. I believe this game is over here.
So as long as they can stick with the robot and keep it pushing.
And we do see the other team spawn over there. As you can see the X, like the do not enter sign over there, that's the enemy spawn. As the robot is slowly approaching it. We will probably be able to get something out of this. This is probably the last team fight here. Yeah, let's keep on. So Raph has already fallen. Now Sam has fallen. So the two PSs are down. But Jamie is still standing strong with a lot of heals from behind. Might be able to get something out of this with his ult. They're all kind of grouped up here. That'd be a good 3-man rampage right there. Won't be able to use it before he dies. And it looks like our entire team dies. So, yeah.
That was a really important fight for us to win. But we are in a really good position that allows us to, essentially, we didn't need that fight necessarily. We're in a really good position on the map and just with the robot and everything that it was honestly fine. And we will hopefully be able to recover.
Raph and his flanks, he's going at it again. Might be able to catch the Kiriko out here. Maybe even the Cassidy. Will actually is pretty flanking them already. Oh, and we do see the Mei switch as well. We didn't mention that.
Yeah, Soldier 76, they get swapped out for the Mei.
Yeah, that wall is actually going to stop Raph's flank entirely. But it looks like they will get a kill anyways on the Cassidy.
See at the top of your screen, we're actually in overtime right now. And essentially, the way this works is once the timer runs out, there becomes this little window that essentially, if no one is on the point, the time will officially run out. And so your goal, if you're the losing team, is to stick on the point, but unfortunately
that will
they're
be
not
the game.
able to.
Yep.
That will give us the win for this.
Yeah, that was a very close game there. Maybe not close, but it was a very fun game to watch.
It was a very competitive game.
Very competitive, I would agree with that. And we will see
Jamie with another
play of the game with Jamie. As it's
this was an amazing,
very good rampage there. Yeah.
And able to pick off so many kills with the bleed passive of Junker Queen. Despite only having the one play of the game compared to Jamie's 2,
Raph has been
really
very good.
And
those flanks from has been very good. Yeah, we saw a few flanks there that basically won them the game. Especially that first one with the team fight that took out both DPSs and then hacked the Orisa. Yeah,
I think Sombra is in such an interesting position where
Yo, we have a bathroom break.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Raph. So it does look like we have a little bit of a bathroom break of some kind. Raph just came in here and pretty much yelled at us.
So I guess we will be using this time to
use the bathroom or something.
Yes.
Yeah. We can also continue talking about we can also swap as well. We can continue talking about the match.
I'll just
stand in between.
Okay,
you
yeah.
two. Have all three
This
of
is
us.
so
All three?
intriguing.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm here now.
Can
This is
we hear Violet?
so cluttered.
Okay. All three of us are here.
So yeah, I mean, like we were saying, Raph has looked so good on the Sombra, and it's such an interesting character to play because it's a weird hybrid mix between, obviously your goal there is to do a lot of damage, but she requires so much setup to be able to do so, and a lot of times it ends up being just mostly a secondary support. But he has looked amazing on the Sombra
Yes.
so far.
He's been incredible.
Yes, we've seen. I mean, he hasn't changed at all so far. Our team comp has barely gone through any changes.
I think
we've
he's
seen
been
a
playing
good.
Sombra all night, and
Yeah.
he's looked amazing on it.
Yeah, we've seen some pretty their team has changed a lot overall, and ours has pretty much been fine, been not changing at all, other than the few tank changes that we've had.
Yeah,
I think Jamie's mostly just getting bored of Junker Queen and going to Wrecking Ball.
I think
for Jamie, the big thing was making sure that it was a tank that he felt comfortable on the map with, because the map that we did see those changes on was primarily Junkertown.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the only changes we've seen, other than the Maddie switching to Mercy, and that's about it. And the other team, we've seen a lot of changes, though, through supports, through tanks,
Yeah.
even a few DPSs. We saw Cassidy come out as the first time this game. Do you think any of those changes have really helped so far? Or?
I mean, there's two sides to look at this. Obviously, there's a side that, they made a lot of changes this game, and we still ultimately ended up winning the game, which is one way to look at it. But I think you also have to take into account, this is a scrimmage, right?
Yeah.
This isn't a stage game. I think it's very possible that they are trying different things in different situations. Maybe that could be a part of their game plan. Meanwhile, for us, I think the lack of changes, it could also mean a lot of different things. But I think it's mostly to show just, I think it's really good to have a comp that you're really confident in and playing.
Potty break over.
Okay.
Even
Thank you,
before
Raph.
our short little break is now over. And we'll
I
be
think it
going to
might
the
have
next
just been
game
Raph
soon.
needing to use the restroom.
That is entirely possible. It's a
And
very
with
Raph
that,
thing to
I'm
do.
going to go back to the little hidey hole over
Alright.
there. I'll
You have
switch
fun with
out
that.
after.
Yeah, we can switch out after this next game. Because at most there'll be 5. Yeah. And then
Yep, so-
this is going to be the 4th game coming up because they won 1. So now currently it's 2-1. We'll do a little count. 2 for us, 1 for them. As we are currently winning with that last win. And what do you know what the next game mode is? Or
I do not, actually. I think it'll be really
Violet,
interesting
can you
to
go see what the next game mode is from Aaron? Okay, so we're going to get the next game mode. Hopefully, we'll see what it is soon. What are the other game modes exactly?
That's a great question.
So I believe there is at least 5 because they go through one for each round. So we're going hybrid next.
Hybrid. Oh, good old hybrid. Oh, how do I explain this? Basically, this will combine 2 game modes that we've already seen. You have the first half of hybrid, which is a control point. Your objective is to find this point and capture it and get this bar up to 100%. This is just like Escort, where there's an attack side and a defense side. And after you get 100% of the control point objective, it literally turns into Escort. Your job on the attack side is a payload will spawn out of the control point, and your goal is to push it to whatever goals lay ahead of you. And so it's a really interesting one that it combines 2 game modes that are already in the game and allows it to sort of, be its own little creation. It's really interesting.
So is it whoever wins the control point gets to push?
No, so like Escort, there's an attack and a defense side, and those sides will stay for the entire half. I don't actually know if you switch in hybrid. It's very likely that you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you'll take turns on attack side. You want to get the objective to 100% and then push the payload. And then on defense, it's the opposite, right? You want to prevent them from even getting the control point maxed out. And then if that's not a possibility for you, you then have to prevent them from pushing the payload. So it'll be really interesting to see.
Yes. So we were talking about the comps earlier. Do you want to go more into that? So we talked about the dive comp, about how it's kind of just you want a lot of mobility, get in there, get in quick, and try and get everybody out, basically. So
Yeah, so I'm not as caught up on the terminology with all the
Okay.
new stuff, with it being 5v5. But if you want to notice a really big comp in the meta right now is sort of the one that we've been playing all night, but it's mostly about the DPSs. The Sombra and Tracer in Overwatch 2 for so long have been such an overwhelming DPS combo in almost every single game mode and every single match. I think it's also really interesting to note that the other team hasn't pulled out the Sombra Tracer despite how well it works in so many different scenarios.
yeah, they've been running a few different DPSs. We saw the Cassidy last game. What else did we see?
So the Soldier 76,
Soldier
we saw
76.
the May.
Yep.
I did
Symmetra,
see
yeah.
Symmetra earlier to that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
That's all I
haven't
remember.
seen Tracer or
Tracer
Sombra,
or Sombra at all,
which
yeah.
is really interesting. So
We also haven't seen the Sojourn anywhere, who I've heard is a
Oh,
very
yeah,
good
Sojourn.
character. Sojourn. Yes.
Now that you mention it, I am actually really intrigued why we haven't seen a Sojourn.
Yeah,
tonight.
I'm surprised that we haven't seen anything of Sojourn. We saw the best, do you want to talk about a little bit about the support picks as well that we've seen so far?
So yeah, in Overwatch 2, a lot of times the supports have, they've added a lot of supports, but honestly, it's sort of been the same kind of meta that it was previously, with Mercy being always just an amazing pick, especially if you have a really volatile person on DPS that is playing, normal mid-range or long-range just hyper carries, unlike the Tracer and Sombra. It can really just allow them to take over the game. And then some other ones, the Moira is obviously always a really good pick. It's an amazing balance between healing and damaging, especially on someone who knows how to pilot Moira so well.
Yeah, Maddie's been doing an amazing job.
Maddie has been doing an amazing job on Moira. Another one that we haven't seen as
We've
much as
seen-
I would like is Anna.
Ah, yes, Anna, yeah.
Anna is a very, very strong support with her sleep dart that really allows you to just shut down anyone on the enemy team.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like we will be starting up here soon. And we might be able to, we are seeing a few changes, yeah. So, especially to our team, it looks like we have, so we're sticking with the Sombra. We've got Echo, I believe, right?
Yep,
Yep,
Echo.
Echo for Sam. And we got Maddie on the Mercy. And everything else is the same with Junker Queen, with Jamie, and also Zeke on the Kiriko. Which Kiriko is a very popular support right now, isn't
It
it?
is very popular.
Yes.
It has an interesting effect where you can actually cleanse a lot of the negative effects that a lot of people can get in the game, which can be super important, especially in the cases of poisons. Poisons in the game are a very big thing that
Hacks
Kiriko
or
can-
something like that
yeah,
as well.
Kiriko
Yeah.
can do really well at getting rid of those.
So it looks like we are starting the poke, and it looks like Raph might go down very quickly, but it looks like he was able to get out of whatever problem he was in. And Jamie is here fighting the Orisa on the other team, getting mostly healed up and amped by Maddie's Mercy right now. And it looks like we'll go back into another fight here with the Orisa, just kind of staring at each other. It looks the Orisa is getting low. If he doesn't get healing quick, he'll die pretty soon. And it looks like that Moira stepped up a little bit too far,
the
and it
Orisa's gonna
will.
die.
Yep, the Orisa
But-
will die.
They didn't know. Oh, now they know about the Symmetra turrets. Symmetra
Yeah.
turrets are going to be a really big problem for them, I feel like, unless they can get someone in there to take care of them right
Yes.
now. But we're going to see Sam almost went down from the turrets.
Yeah, so we also saw Revive come out from the Mercy on the Orisa, and the Orisa dies again. So, and it looks like we will get another kill there as we will start on capturing this point before the payload. And it looks like we'll be able to fully capture the point and start pushing the payload.
So yeah, so now it has essentially turned into an escort map.
Yep. And we do see a Pharaoh out here shooting from the sky. We'll look over at. We do see the Cassidy come out for our team for Sam here, as might be able to get some cool headshots with the high noon stuff.
I'll say Cassidy is one of those ones that getting a damage amp from Mercy can
Very powerful.
really
Yeah.
change the way the game is looking with a few lucky headshots.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're just making steady
Yeah,
progress.
so the payload's just being pushed. Pretty much just a little bit of poking with the knife and the other range. Jamie is pretty close to his ult. We are actually pretty close to having a full team ult here. We might be able to get a pretty good combo here, as now Jamie does have the Rampage, and that Moira is kind of out of position, will get caught out and killed very
We're
quickly.
getting a lot of kills here with the
Yep.
High Noon coming out.
The High Noon does come out. Sam,
And
however, will
last
die,
resort.
and yeah, fair. That's pretty much that
was
whole
a
team is a
huge team
pretty
wipe.
much
That was a
team
really
wipe
big
right there.
fight for us.
As Mercy was the only one to survive there. What do you think about their Hanzo change here?
I personally, I love Hanzo.
Hanzo's
I
cool.
think in the right hands, Hanzo can completely just ruin a game for some teams if you're piloting properly and able to,
Ooh,
the
that was
Risa ult comes out,
that
but
was
it's
a-
actually going to whiff our team.
Yeah. Might be able to get a good Rampage here, as they all are kind of lined up in that area.
Oh,
Will
but
die
Jamie will
before he can do
fall.
it. And it looks like our team is in full retreat now, as we are pretty much just trying to get out, as Sam has also died, and it looks like the only one to live from that area is Wrath, as he's
Yeah.
able to fully get out with his invisibility and a few teleports. It looks like he will be trying to get... will be
Oh,
found
he
and
will
killed.
found.
That's not great for us at all, as he had his ult as well.
That is really tragic because, we've seen him on the flank a lot of times, showing a lot of prowess piloting the Sombra. So, I think it would be really interesting to see what would have happened if he hadn't gotten caught there.
It looks like he's going for a flank already, as he's just respawned and already pretty much here. And he's going to get that flank on these two heroes. Might be able to get something here, as these two don't notice him, as he is going to start with the damage instead of using his ult.
gonna have to
Will
fly out,
survive just barely, though, as we'll now switch over to the other DPS, Cassidy, on Sam here. As it looks like he is also kind of caught out. They're just kind of
There's a
getting
huge
caught out
Pharah
of this
ult that we didn't
building.
see that was really just ruined our team.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a lot of people fall from that Pharah ult, which is really, really powerful in tight quarters. But
Yeah.
we see Raph here he does have a nice little spot set up for his invisibility that it'll be really interesting to see when we can get the rest of our team here if, they're able to do something with the MP that he has.
Yeah, that was just kind of unlucky positioning from us, as we just kind of stayed in that. I will actually keep looking at Raph as our team finally breaks into here. We'll get
He's going to get the Pharah.
three,
Pharah's not able to do, any more flying.
Pretty much
but not able to capitalize as much
Yeah.
as people would have liked.
We'll be able to get a few kills from here, assists as well, as it looks like Sam has now gone in, trying to get rid of the Will also die.
Getting a lot of damage on that Hanzo, but ultimately not enough, and the
Mm-hmm.
Hanzo just takes him down.
Yeah, and it looks like pretty much our whole team will get wiped again, as we do see a SWIP coming out for the Diva here on Jamie, as
And we're seeing another tank tonight. This is like I was talking about earlier. This
Yeah.
is really interesting to see.
as we don't see any other changes, just the tank change here. As we will
So
go right
Diva is
over
in
to him,
there.
as he is in there right now, kind of all alone, but will be getting heals from the Mercy. At this point, I think you need to kind of focus the Pharaoh-Mercy duo and separate them a little bit, as he just does. And the Pharaoh is all the way away from the Mercy, is now going up for the Pharaoh again, but the Pharaoh just has so much mobility, can't really get it.
And the Pharaoh will fall.
But will fall eventually, as hopefully trying to get something.
But
But
a huge Hanzo.
huge on
It's
Hanzo
gonna
all
take
on
out
our
Sam
back
and
line.
Raph,
Pretty-
and
Yeah, getting
Tomorrow
pretty
we'll
much
take
our
on
whole
Maddie.
team except for Jamie, as he is all alone here.
Oh,
Will
he's gonna
fall to his
off the
death.
map. This is one of those things that we've talked about where, in Overwatch, things can go very bad really quickly.
That
It'll be
started
really
off looking
interesting.
pretty great as we killed the Pharaoh, but after that, it just ended up not going super well for us, as they were able to get rid of all the other ones.
I think it's definitely one of those strange situations where, your main target on their team is that Pharaoh. But at the same time, if you focus too much on that Pharaoh, you leave,
Yeah.
the opportunity is way too open for the enemy team.
Oh, okay, so we do get a revive on Sam here, who is now
Yeah,
on the
he's now
Soldier
on Soldier.
76. Almost dies already very quickly after the revive. Jamie will be going in. He does have the ult, might be able to get something good out of it, as he's focusing on the Hanzo. Is going to be able to get it out, now needs to run away, as he's in
And he's able to get the Orisa,
in the
which
lesser
is
form.
huge for them.
Yes.
Getting rid of that tank opens up so many more possibilities.
Yeah, and they
for their
will be
push.
pretty much a full team wipe, as I believe the Pharaoh died earlier or got away. I don't really know,
With
but
the
it doesn't
overtime
super matter.
here, their goal is just to get to this objective to get some extra time. If they can do that, I think they open the door wide open for the rest of this map.
Yeah, figuratively and literally, as the door here is closed, and they are going to try and open it here. And the
Alright,
Pharaoh
going
will
to
die
fall.
first, as she went in all alone pretty much. Kind of a misplay from her, as it looks like she's left her whole team stranded, as now Jamie's Diva is pretty much just laying fire in on all of them, as we do see another swap.
We do see some big changes from the other team. Obviously,
Yes.
we see the Symmetra back, but now we finally see what was a Tracer, but is now a Bastion. And we also see the tank change, switching to Zarya.
Bastion's my favorite character, because he's just a little guy. That was a huge
EMP from
MVP.
Raph.
The very, very, very good EMP, and almost
We might be able to end the game off of this.
Yeah, I think so.
If we can take
as
down the Zarya, I think that is game.
that will be
but
game there. As it now the Bastion is hacked by Raph and just pretty much will go down, as it's pretty much just the
Everyone is
Mercy and the
falling.
tank left, as now it's just pretty much Jamie trying to just kill this last tank as the other team is respawning. This the Zarya, right, is just kind of just being a nuisance, just living for so long.
Yeah.
Allowing their team to survive just a little bit more. And the Tracer goes right in, dies instantly. Looks like that'll pretty much happen to
that
the
was
Mercy as
an
well.
insane way to end.
It was a very
Yes.
insane round one. Very impressive. And 11 seconds left in that
11
round.
seconds left. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they get to swap sides now.
Yep.
And so the other team's goal is you have to do everything that they just did, but
better.
with more than 11 seconds
Yeah.
on the clock.
Which is honestly probably not that hard if you can just move it a little bit faster. Because if you probably get to the end, you're going to get probably faster than 11 seconds.
We have to think about those situations, right, where, we as a team, we kind of had what looked like some miscommunications, had some fights go bad really, really, really quickly. They costed us like maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute, right? That's a lot of time, especially in a situation like this where, you
We'll
just
see
have
the
to have more
Roadhog
than
come
11.
out.
Oh.
We're going to see a
We're seeing
Roadhog
a
come out. We
Roadhog.
got
We have a Ramatra and a May on the other team as well.
Yes.
So a lot of changes for this
both
half.
teams here. We got Soldier 76 out, but the supports will stay the same for us.
Sports will say the same. Raph still on
On
the
the
Sombra.
Sombra, I
which-
mean, it's deserved. Like, he's just at this point just hiding in this corner over here.
If we were voting for MVPs tonight, I think without a doubt,
I would
it's
agree.
Raph on Sombra.
Yeah, I would
He
agree
is-
with that.
I mean, if he wasn't already before, that last play on that half was just... You couldn't ask for anything better from Sombra player. That was just amazing play and perfect execution of how to play this character. So now we're going to see the gates open.
Yep.
Already
He's
on
already
the flank.
on the flank.
He's looking to pick off someone this early. He's not able to catch the Pharaoh and Mercy
Or
as
the
they
Mercy,
fly
yep,
away
as
already.
they fly away. Yeah, but they are coming back down. He
Coming
might be
back
able to get
down.
one of them here as he's going to
gonna hack the
reveal himself,
Mercy.
kill the Mercy already. Great start as we are now up a character as it's a 4v5 for us, and it looks like we might be able to even get the Pharah here as some pretty good damage comes out from Sam here as now the wall comes out and does protect the tank, allowing them to heal up a little bit. We'll go over to Jamie here as on the Roadhog. Very interesting skin, I will be honest. But we might be able to see some pretty cool hooks there, just like that, separating the tank from the rest of the team as the wall is not going to be able to save him there, and the tank will fall. And honestly, at this point, they are doing a better job than the other team did defending the control point that they did, because our team won a team fight right away and instantly got the point and started pushing. So I would say at this rate, we are doing a little bit better as Jamie does fall, as it looks like we are losing control of the point here. As
Now we're
we
getting
will
to the
lose
escort
control,
stage.
and they will have 5 minutes to beat our time of 11 seconds. But now we are on the defensive side, and we already see Raph almost on a
Raph
flank,
back
pretty
on
much.
the flank.
Yep.
Which I think, to be fair, his job this game most certainly is being a nuisance to this Pharah
Yes,
and
of
Mercy.
course.
Because the Mercy and the Pharah combo is just such an important part to, I mean, whatever team that they're on. They're such a strong duo that if you have someone that, I mean, Raph has obviously showed he's capable of shutting down that duo, it just completely changes the game and, could potentially force them to switch off of it if it gets bad enough.
So we will see pretty much our whole team have their ult at the same time. Jamie will use his
the
on the
Roadhog will just
tank
come in
here
out. Macho's
and
gonna
will
fall to it.
fully kill there. We'll have to break through the wall to get that May. And it looks like the rest of the team will just back off and allow the payload to be pushed back a little bit, as we will check on the flank master, Raph, as he's dead, actually. We will. I think that was a hook there, or just shooting. I didn't fully catch it. The hook is on cooldown, so.
I think
As Jamie is going in
Jamie's
there.
Roadhog has looked amazing, and
This Roadhog is looking very good, I will
I'm very
admit.
intrigued. Have they just been, trying to take it easy tonight and not bringing this out? Because this Roadhog has looked amazing.
Yes.
So far, at least.
That ult from him was very good. And honestly, the supports are
Mercy ult
getting
coming out
so
from the
much
other
heal.
team.
Yep, and it
This is gonna
will
be a
kill
game changer.
Zeke there. I thought he was going to get the hook off the edge there. That would have been very funny. As he will get actually stopped by the wall there. We'll be able to. We'll
he
get a
gets
hook
one.
off the and into the fall.
Hooking people off the map with Roadhog has to be.
It's such a funny idea.
It's so satisfying for the Roadhog player.
It's so
But
annoying.
if you're the
for
person
them.
getting hooked off the map,
The tilts
it's
will be
very
rough.
frustrating.
Oh, and it does look like the EMP did come out from RAF somewhere. Looks
It
like,
looks
we
like they're
missed it.
getting a lot of takedowns here, which is super important,
Yes.
especially at this position.
Yeah.
Your goal is to just prevent them from, getting that objective, opening up that door to, even have the opportunity to try to beat your time.
Actually, from looking up at the bar up at the top, it is not looking great for us, as they're only 2 minutes in and pretty close to that door. As we'll take a look at the RAF Symmetra again, as
Absolutely. Managing to escape once again.
yeah, from a flank. We'll go back in for the flank at the same
Yeah.
area. We'll get the hack off on the tank here. We'll be able to escape again, as it looks like he might go into a 1v1 with the May here and
He's
will not be able to
quite
kill.
able to get it.
Very close though, as we can watch our other DPS here try and get rid of the. Will come out.
which
Ooh.
is essentially just.
We'll
aimbot.
get sleeped
But
right
still able to
away.
pick up 2 with the ult, which is really big, and Jamie able to get another one as well.
We'll take a look at Jamie here. I'm going.
I think it is also important to note that even though the progress looked bad for us, the payload has been moving backwards this entire time.
Yes.
It's been making actually negative progress, which is really big for us, especially considering that a lot of times in these game modes, right, you will see the occasional large chunk of progress gained by someone, but it's
Raph is on the
Raph
flank again. We'll get a kill
gets
too.
one,
Almost
trying to
gets
get a
Mercy.
second.
Will die before he gets Mercy though. Sam looked like he's trying to clean up the Mercy a little bit, as the Pharaoh will come up,
Pharaoh ult and
use
it's
the
only-
only kill. Actually, none of us. None. We'll only get some good damage on though. As there comes in, but the Mercy will fall, or no, the May will fall on the R team, as the Mercy is also going to fall, as is now just the Baptiste and the Orisa here, as it looks like
Do you see them switching the Ana now?
yes, probably for the
Most likely for the Sombra.
yeah.
I think they're finally realizing that Raph has been a complete nuisance for every single one of these games here.
They also will switch in the Bastion.
Oh, the Bastion's coming out
Yeah.
for the attack side here.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Ana, if you're able to get that sleep dart,
Yeah, they've already
onto the
swatched out
Sombra.
of Ana too. They're going the classic Mercy Bastion combo, where you just sit in the tank and get buffed the whole time.
that is true.
Yeah. So it looks like, they will be shooting out of this little window here, which honestly I don't think is great. You kind of want to fight in it. Like they want the whole enemy team in there instead of shooting out of it, I think. As he
But
will get the Mercy and get that kill there.
I was just say that is probably the play that they're looking for, trying to isolate, one of the squishies into that room and just able to take him down.
Yeah,
but they have
however,
to
it
get
is
on
getting
this
very
point
close,
here.
as the Orisa is still on there. Maybe something, Orisa will
Orisa
fall
ult,
now.
but it won't be as effective
Yeah.
as they would have hoped.
And now the payload is going to start getting pushed back very slowly, though. As,
Strange use of
as-
soldier ult,
oh,
but
that will
that's the
be
map.
the win. So that is now 3-1 in favor of us.
Are we playing the last map, or
I think it's
are we
up
just
to
ending
them.
it at 3-1?
So Jamie will get
Jamie with
another
another
play of the game as the third one this time.
I am honestly really impressed that the EMP didn't get play of the game.
Yeah.
It was such a crucial moment, considering how little time they had. But obviously,
That
I'm
was
not in
a
charge
very
of the
good
game,
one there.
so.
Yeah. So we're probably going to do one more swap if there is another game. So then you'll have tried everybody with the commentators.
So, yeah.
Right. That was a pretty good game.
I think it was really interesting seeing that game. How many more characters they brought out compared to the first two maps?
Yeah, we saw the Roadhog, and I think that went really well.
The Roadhog looked really, really amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we saw Raph stay on the Sombra, but I'm not complaining about it because once again,
no.
I genuinely think he is the MVP of the night.
Yeah.
His EMPs and his just being a nuisance to the other team has been so important for this team.
I know Jamie has been getting all the play of the games and everything, but that's just because he's killing everybody.
That is true. I think
Raph is setting everything up.
Raph is the mastermind behind everything that's playing.
Yes.
Without a doubt. But obviously, everyone on the team has been playing really amazing.
Yes.
And just the cohesiveness that they have and able to put it all together to, produce this kind of product that even if it isn't a regular season, stage game, just seeing these things in a scrim is really beneficial and, gives me a lot of hope for what we're going to see
For the season, yeah.
The season.
Yeah, as we have so far not seen great things out of the other two games that we have this season, or like overall, because Smash Bros. We didn't win at all. Rocket League, we lost our first two games, but those two Rocket League games were pretty close overall. And now this game we are in the lead. Actually, we've technically already won.
Yeah. If it was a regular season match, yes.
It would already be winning.
I think
this
we're
is a
still
scrim,
figuring out if we're playing the whole 5 block or if we're just ending it here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's been a lot of good things to see here that hopefully can continue for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And,
So it does. So we changed the map here, so it does look like we will be able to go into
we will be playing a fifth map if
so we will
switch
do
me out
one
again.
last swap here. I'll switch over to this chair.
I'm stuck here.
We trapped you.
All right, so
I'm
as
back.
they're loading into this game, what did you think of that as just another perspective?
It was definitely fun to see Jamie bring out the Roadhog because that is something that I've seen Jamie play before in practices, and he's incredible at playing Roadhog.
That Roadhog was very impressive overall, getting those few off the hooks. And those shotguns just in the tight corners of that map especially was very good. This looks like another hybrid match here at the end, as we will see the Winston come out for Jamie here.
Winston or Winton.
Winton, the big monkey.
We love Winton.
So yeah, if you want to control the perspective a little bit, we will also see the Genji come out on Sam. That'll be very interesting. And we will see Raph still on the Symmetra. That is a Pokemon. Gosh, Power Ranger. That is a Power Ranger.
We're into sentence pudding. It's slowly becoming harder as the night goes on.
So
it's
looks
been
like
a long day.
It has been. So it looks like we will see some good amount of changes here. We've got Life Weaver, which is a character I've rarely seen at all. But very interesting with growth and like plants and stuff. So
it looks like now that we've secured the win for the night that our team is definitely allowing ourselves to play around a little more on which characters we have.
Yes. So it looks like these are just like the more fun type of characters that they have. But still pretty consistent with Raph's Sombra and also Zeke's Kiriko. Yeah.
Starting out this game, we already are fighting pretty hard.
But we are losing the point right now, and we need to get that point first, as we will see the flower come out and send up Jamie up there, as we might see a leap from the flower, but no, because the rest of the team isn't here yet. We need more of the team around, as it looks like Sam is trying to get up to a vantage point to get some kind of sword kill and stuff up there, as it looks like we might be waiting for a few ults to get into the point and try and get those kills there, because they are holding that point very well. as we will switch over to Jamie trying to do something with his shield here as it falls. We'll be able to get kind of closer. We'll need to eventually get onto that point. Maybe as soon as his shield comes up, he'll try and go for something there. Because the whole team is here as well as theirs. It looks like nothing is really happening here, but they need to get on in the next 2 minutes or so as both teams' ults are getting up there. As it looks like the Mercy on their team will be the first one to get the ult, and Maddie will be the first one on ours. And it looks like Jamie will make a move now as he is gaining health still as the tree of life is being put down, but will not be able to get through that wall there. Will be able to get through it now, but he's pretty much alone on that side of the wall. Will use his ult now to try and get more of these squishies out of here.
Squishies.
As he will get 1 kill, as it looks like they're almost capturing, but he will retreat here. As it looks like, yep, they will be pushed all the way out as most of them died. So how do you think like this? Oh, they will do another switch to the Junker Queen.
We're switching to Junker Queen again.
Yes.
Which is definitely I feel like, strong choice from Jamie with how little he was able to work the Winton the way that he probably wished he was.
As we already see with the Junker Queen already pretty much making it onto the point, having this little duel with the other tank here. As it looks like he is going to get all the way onto the point and even kill that tank almost. He's very low on health, but will be starting to get healed up as they need to kill these supports in the back on the other team. As it looks like the DPSs are coming up a little bit and will kill Jamie fully, as it looks like pretty much the whole team is going to die here.
The whole team went down during that, yeah.
We do see Raph switch to the Sovereign here for the upcoming match, or for the upcoming plays. As this is a very interesting character
This is a character that I have not seen been played before.
Yeah, so this is a character that hasn't been played tonight, but I've heard it's very good from the few things that I've watched and studied. Pretty much a lot of mobility, a lot of damage from just Railgun, which is one of her abilities, I believe. And yeah, that mobility from the slide there, able to pretty much get anywhere on the map, as you see, just getting up there. Probably we'll see less of the insane flanks that we've seen, more similar to what Sam has been doing with the Soldier 76 and the Cassidy. More damage coming out, pretty much. As it looks like the tree will be dropped onto the point, might be able to get something out of this, as pretty much the whole team is on the point here now, as their team is dropping here, as it looks like 3 have dropped for them, as we might be able to get something out, as another tree will come out.
It's overtime as well,
yes,
which is...
because we are running out of time. We need to capture this now.
We are running out of time immensely. They did.
Oh, and it looks like that tank there of theirs is going to pretty much clear out everybody on our team.
We still have...
Sam and Zeke were still on the point, and Sam will go down.
Sam went down.
And I do not know where Zeke is.
Yeah.
As it looks like we won't be able to capture the point, and we will lose the first round.
Which is mildly upsetting, because that particular defeat was very much because the other team was rooted where they were.
Yeah, we just couldn't move them, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think we just needed to be a little bit more aggressive, I feel like, and move with the whole team. Because in the end, we just couldn't really get, especially when we had the Winton, we couldn't really get onto the point that much. And I think we stayed too much time with the Winton, and we weren't able to get anything out of it. As we will see, what's that character's name? I recognize him.
We have Bastion.
We do have Bastion. We have Reaper as well, and Bestis, and then Kiriko still. And I don't remember the character's name, but he's a very interesting character. Very interesting
looks
tank.
Like Maui.
He basically. Do you remember the character's name? This one? No. Okay.
None of us can tell you. We're all.
It's something. It's very interesting. He has an ult that's just called Cage Fight, and he traps a bunch of people in the cage and just shoots at them. It's really funny. But he's a big tank. I don't remember his name though, sadly. But we will probably be watching him a decent amount, as it looks like they will now start pushing. We need to pretty much stop them before they get. We need to pretty much stop them so they don't get the point.
We need to make sure they don't get on point.
Yes. as it looks like Jamie's here just going to pretty much sit on point the whole time and hopefully get something. But that high ground up there is from their soldiers is making that very difficult, as he's pretty much dropping pretty low, kind of low, about halfway, as somebody needs to get up there and get rid of those, as he's now hacked as well. Or not hacked, but poisoned or something. He had something affecting him. He is now sleeped, as the Mercy on their team does go down, though, and also the Bastis and the Symmetra, as pretty much the whole team will go down, and they will make a switch to the Orisa here already.
It looks like there's an Ana on both teams right now, which is always fun to see. Ana is one of those characters that I could never play because she just takes so much finesse.
You have to get those sleeping darts there, and we will see Jamie instantly get that sleeping dart on him, but we'll kind of be pushed out. But actually, we will see the same tank go up against each other, and Jamie is the better tank, so he will win.
Jamie outtakes the tank.
Yeah, and they will pretty much get a full team wipe there, as it looks like 3 will go down, the other 2 will stay up, but the other 2 aren't going to engage a team of 5 there. As pretty much Sam on the Reaper will teleport up to the high ground up there, might be able to get something of a pick up there, maybe be able to stop those high grounds that were causing Jamie a problem earlier, as it looks like they're going around to the side a little bit on that ping over there, as some turrets will fall.
Looks
and actually,
like they're trying to avoid Jamie.
That makes a lot of sense. He is basically just being a wall the whole time. And it actually will catch the tank out alone and be able to kill him there, as that's his second pick of this fight, actually. As it looks like he's able to just shoot away at the other team, trying to advance a little bit. We'll be able to get out of harm's way as well. And he does have the cage ult now. So we will see that maybe as
we'll
the team.
hopefully see that. I would love to see it.
It's a very funny ult, as what I've read at least from it. As we also see the artillery strikes come in. I feel like the artillery strikes and the cage fight would actually be a very good combination, as we see the wall come out and just pretty much Jamie actually just being a wall himself, just sitting on this point and not dying at all. As we do see the cage fight come out, as pretty much, I think he gets unlimited ammo and no one can leave. That's pretty much the whole thing, as pretty much only the soldier is left alive, and everyone will die there. As I think that might be a play of the game right there.
That very well may be a play of the game. And
very impressive.
Secure Jamie 4 of the 5 games.
Yes, Raph with the other one.
Which is always nice to see. We like seeing our players be the best in the game.
Yeah, so it looks like this will probably be the last try for the other team, as they have barely
35 seconds.
Yeah, they have 35 seconds, and they pretty much all need to get together and go for this last point. And it looks like Jamie is going to get
playing,
Jamie is playing very well. He is able to get out of harm's way there, as he was a little bit too far forward, as it looks like he might be able to get something out. He's going to get pushed back. He almost got a pick there on their Ana, but he is going to get whatever I think that's a heal negator. That's what it looked like. I don't know. But he will get slept there. We'll be able to go into a little bit of contested overtime, and the other cage fight will come out, but that cage fight isn't going to go as well, as the character will die. And Jamie will also die, however. That is his first death of this game, and Raph is the only one left, and they will actually... Nope, that is the game. Okay. That was very close to them actually getting that point, but it looks like they just barely ran out of time there at the end. And we will see here play of the game, as that was our last match.
That was actually on the other team for play of the game.
Yeah. So this is I think this is actually, yes, this is at the end where that cage fight came out, and they almost got the payload out, but they weren't able to at the end.
They still beat us though, because it was Team 1 win instead of Team 2, and unfortunately Doan is Team 2 right now.
Yeah. So that did end up being a 2-3 by technicalities, but we would have won if this was a normal season match, and we still did win.
Which is exciting. This is
this is
always fun to see a win for Doan.
Yeah, so I have high hopes for this season. We will do the classic interview of the captain or whoever So we'll bring
See
in
if we
Jamie
can
here
get Jamie
pretty
in
soon.
here. Do you,
And I'll
are
do
you
the,
still
yeah, I'll
planning
do
on
the-
interviewing?
I'll do the interview. If you want to bring in Jamie and Jackson.
Jamie is a wonderful person. I
Mm-hmm.
live with Jamie in our suite here at Doan, and one of my favorite people.
Yeah, so we will bring Jamie in, and then we'll do a little interview here as we
I
see.
live with
joining.
like 3 of the people. So,
Welcome.
alrighty, Jamie, here, have a microphone.
All right. So
Hello.
take a seat. Welcome.
Yeah. Hi.
You can type it. You can
Oh, yeah,
clip
it's
it
got
to
a
your
little clip.
Yep. And you gotta clip it there, and then it's pretty simple.
There we go.
So,
Yeah.
what do you think of that match?
It was very fun. We definitely have a lot to work on. You know, first game of the season. It's working out the kinks. But overall, I'm really proud of all of our players. We have some players that have just started this season.
This way.
There we go. We've got some players that have made a lot of progress since August when we started practicing, and it's already shown off.
Yeah. So we saw in that game you getting like 3 out of the 5 play of the games there. Very impressive. We also saw you on a few different characters. Can you explain a little bit of like your idea of the character swaps for those different tanks?
I'm gonna be honest. So I've been playing this game for the better part of 7 years. I play a lot on instinct, which is not fun because when my teammates ask me, why are you doing this? I gotta.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a hero swap in mind that was...
You switching to that Roadhog. You started playing, like, that Roadhog swap was very interesting because, like, you weren't playing him at all and then you popped off as the Roadhog.
Yeah, I felt like something needed to be switched up, and I needed to throw the enemy team a curveball because they were getting used to my Junker Queen.
Mm-hmm.
They were getting used to it. The Diva was, oh my god, the Symmetron Zarya.
Yeah, that Diva wasn't working out well for you.
No, Diva's not my strong suit.
Okay.
She's really good, but I need to be better. But there's a hole, and I filled it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I mean, you also swapped to the Wrecking Ball a few times from Junker Queen.
Wrecking Ball is just really good at getting to point faster.
Okay.
I tried to work it out with Sam and Ruff with a dive on Junkertown, but it was not working out as well as I had intended. I haven't practiced Wrecking Ball as much.
Yeah, so me and Jackson were specifically praising Raph a lot for his flanks with the Sombra. Very impressive flanks in the EMPs coming out from him. Were you like all planning that? Was that the plan? Were you strategizing all that, or was that mostly all Raph?
It is a big deal, Raph, but we were strategizing. The synergy between Sam and Raph is just unparalleled. I'm really lucky to have them as DPS players.
Yeah. Those two have been playing together since August at least. Yeah.
Seems like every night they're in here duoing.
Yeah, I've seen them play for a long time together. And I mean, you also have like great synergy with them all. There was like, the 3 of us did not know the tank that you played at the last game.
One that looks like Maui.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Mauga. He's a very
Mauga.
recent addition. And the biggest thing with Mauga is it requires a lot of synergy with your supports. I was yelling out calls left and right, and I'm pretty sure Zeke and Maddie are sick of me right now. But they did really well. Maddie has not played Ana, at least in practices, and I'm really impressed with how she did.
Yeah.
There were some really key anti-grenades on the enemy tank that won us fights.
Yeah. Yeah. So I knew the abilities, but didn't know the character name.
Yeah.
So I did some reading beforehand. So like, if you want to talk about the supports a little bit, like how exactly like how they were able to get like, because our supports played great as well, but they weren't the focus of the stream exactly because we were focusing on the action, of course.
you
So
get
if you
the
want
showing
to talk,
stuff.
if you want to talk about the sports a little bit, go right ahead. Especially like because Maddie and Zeke, I know they were playing great. Like
Yes.
yeah, because Zeke on the Kiriko played pretty well as like he just stayed on the Kiriko the whole time, and of course healed you and the rest of the team as well. If you want to.
Yeah. Kiriko right now is just kind of a broken pick. She's good at everything. And Zeke has been training night and day basically to get good at Kiriko, and it's really paid off, especially with tanks like brawl tanks like Junker Queen and Mauga. You need those cleanses from Kiriko's Suzu, and then her damage and her healing is above average as well. Maddie was swapping around.
Mercy, yeah.
Moira has a lot more heals and damage, but that's all she really brings to the team. Mercy has her damage boost, which really allows... she was damage boosting Sam a lot, which allows him to do more damage, obviously.
Yeah.
But it really enables him, as well as her resurrection. There were a few times when Sam or Raph got picked a little bit early, but we wanted to continue that momentum, and Mercy's resurrection allows us to do that.
Yeah. So I guess last thing is like talking about like kind of expectations from this like first scrimmage game of this semester. What are your expectations for the preseason coming up soon?
I really am not sure. We have a lot of work to do. We played very split, and I would like to play a little bit more together. But overall, I'm very confident that we're going to have fun at the very least.
Yeah.
But I think we can win some games.
All right, good. Yeah. So how about you go bring in Aaron for me, and I'll do a little interview with him as well.
I can do that for you.
Yeah.
While we wait for Aaron to come back, steal the mic back from you. Hello, I'm back.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Aaron's already here.
Oh wow, that was quick.
Aaron is fast on this.
Aaron's
used to
Aaron's
my
on the
interviews
dot.
at this point.
I was listening.
There you go.
All right. So I talked to Jamie a little bit. How do you think that game went?
Sorry, I'm on. Yep. Okay. It went well. I'll be honest. I was trying to split attention there, so we had a Rocket League scrimmage going on as well.
Oh, okay.
And so since that one we weren't streaming, I was mostly watching them, and then kind of watching this stream kind of in the background.
Yeah.
But yeah, from what I saw, it looked really good, and I'm excited to play back
Yeah.
the VODs for this. So yeah.
So Jamie is, of course, the captain. Has played for 7 years, as he said, and like very experienced player. Is he like basically a coach to the rest of the team?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Jamie knows far more than me, and I'm not ashamed to say that because any esports coach that's trying to manage so many things, they're going to be very good probably at 1 or 2 games. And knowing that we have Jamie as a fantastic resource because he's able to draw on that wealth of knowledge. So yeah, absolutely.
I know I talked to Jamie a little bit about it, but what do you think is the biggest weakness of our team right now for Overwatch?
Weakness? That's tough.
It's the thing nobody wants to talk about.
Well, probably a little bit is just kind of last semester we had a lot of practices, but we also had just kind of a rotation of people that were available for those practices. As we start the program, this didn't exist a couple of months ago, so students didn't have, esports built into their schedule. And so, oh good, somebody is on my computer. Anyways, so, trying to get that schedule down, it's hard to pinpoint having the same, 5 people or having, the couple of subs coming in and out. And then it also took a couple of months to kind of find the people that were going to compete versus some people weren't going to either stick around or kind of rotate into another role, So that's probably kind of the main weaknesses, like kind of settling in on that starting roster and getting them all experienced all together. So yeah.
So I guess my last question is, what kind of expectations do you have for the team as they continue on this season?
I heard you ask Jamie that question, and every time
I ask you this every time.
Yeah, you have. You asked me this for
Rocket
Super Smash
League,
Brothers
Smash
and
Bros.
Yep. Yeah, and every time I'm like, I should think of a better answer, and then I don't. But my expectations are, let's try and go out there, win as much as possible, and have them, have a blast. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. I will sign off on the stream here as you go back to consulting Rocket League, making sure they're doing all right. All right.
I'll do the sign.
Okay. You want to join me? All right. Perfect. We'll get Violet to come over here and join me for the sign off.
I'm back.
So tomorrow we have Rocket League, also preseason, around the same time. So we'll see you back then already. It's very quick turnaround. Yeah.
And maybe I'll come back for that one.
Maybe.
Just for funsies.
Rocket League is not that hard to commentate. So, and we will also see you guys next week for more Overwatch on Thursday as well.
Thursday at 7.
Yep. And then eventually Smash Bros. Will start at close to the beginning of February, as then will be Tuesday, Thursday, Friday every week. It's
A lot of commentating
Yes.
for us, but it's exciting because we like
is.
doing it.
So we'll see you guys tomorrow as we will sign off here. And thank you guys all for
Go
watching.
down.
Yes, go down.